Nia Tapper here, two-time Olympian bronze medalist rugby player, and you're watching Taking Stock.
2 minutes ago into the close, oil moving down, stocks moving up at this hour. Brent crude trading for the first time all day below $100 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate trading at 93.23. That is your tail of the tape on this Monday, March 6th. NVIDIA shares in focus, up 3% on the day as the firm's day one of the GTC conference kicks off. And at this hour, all 11 sectors of the S&P 500 expected to finish on this Monday afternoon in positive territory. The team from Citizens Bank, ticker symbol CFG, down here at the big board, set to do the honors. And down here on the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the crowd goes wild. Oh, that was fun. Thank you, everyone. The real stars of you're the real MVPs. Thank you for being here. Volatility moving a little bit of a leg lower after reaching a fresh high in the VIX of 28 in Friday's session. Looks like the VIX will finish off the day at 23 and change. Yields moving down across the board. Metals, gold and silver, both relatively unchanged for the day. Gold pulling in a little bit, silver up fractionally. The crypto majors in positive territory. Bitcoin quietly moving up for 8 consecutive days, holding on to 74,000, its highest level since February 4th. We've got our good friend James Knightley, economist at ING, on deck. He'll join us after the bell for his take on today's price action. Time now for the closing bell from the big board. More Taking Stock after this. All right, and there you have it on this on this Monday, March 6th, St. Patrick's Day Eve. I wore my green one day too early. Final tail of the tape, the S&P 500 up a full percent, the Dow up, looks like 0.8%, the NYSE Composite Index up 0.9, and the small caps, the Russell 2000 enjoying a strong session, up 0.9%. Salesforce, NVIDIA, and Boeing, those are your three strongest performing Dow names. Your Dow laggards, Walmart, Merck, and Verizon. Few other sectors on this Monday catching a bid. The autos led by Rivian, the semiconductors led by Intel having a very strong tape today, and the home builders in positive territory led by Toll Brothers. James Knightley, Chief International Economist at ING, joins us now down here on the trading floor of the big board to kick things off here on Taking Stock. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure.
So despite all the chop, despite all the volatility, it's a very strong take today. And despite how uncertain things have been as of late, we're still really just within a few small percentage points of all-time high. It might not feel like it, but James, what are you seeing as you look up and you see a really strong tape today?
No, it is. I mean, the US economy is still in really good shape. Unemployment's low, demand's pretty strong, and investment in tech especially is still going crazily strong. So we've got a decent fundamentals. It's just about how long this crisis in the Middle East lasts and how big a sentiment that actually provides.
Yeah, we heard from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent today. He says the U.S. is allowing Iranian oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. It seems like whenever there's good news out of the Strait, we see oil come down and stocks rally, and then the opposite is true as well. What are some of the geopolitical developments you'll be paying attention to, especially out of the Strait of Hormuz, to give investors here in the U.S. some sense of what the next few weeks look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're listening to the president, and he's trying to get this naval coalition through, which would actually provide real substance, real global backing for this idea of getting the straits open. And if that can come to fruition, that will give a lot more confidence, I think, and that would be a real catalyst to get oil prices that much lower, which is we really do need to see.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on this week. We got a whole bunch of household earnings reports to get through. We got a lot of economic data. We also have day one of the FOMC policy meeting kicking off tomorrow. We get Jerome Powell's press conference and the announcement for the March meeting on Wednesday afternoon. But you and I were talking earlier, it's not just the central bank here in the U.S. Let's go around the world. Talk to me what central banks around the world are looking at for a busy few days.
No, that's right. I mean, we've got the Federal Reserve here in the US, we've got the ECB, Bank of England, Bank of Canada, even Australia. So there's a whole raft of central banks coming through. And in general, we're looking for no change. We're looking for, almost words of confidence from the central bankers around the world, say, look, we've got things sorted, we can get through this, no problem at all. The one central bank that's probably going to be quite interesting is Australia. And the story there is inflation's already pretty hot, and they produce lots and lots of gas, so they've got no real problems. So if you're looking for one central bank that could surprise, could hike, it'll be them.
Yeah, of course, a little bit of a difference for the U.S. Fed is that we have a dual mandate to consider. A lot of other central banks don't. With an eye on Jerome Powell's second to last meeting, what are your expectations? You may look to hear the chairman answer at that press conference. Of course, we also get a dot plot projection. We only get 4 of those a year, so we'll learn a little bit more about the thinking of the FOMC.
Yeah, that's right. So at the moment, we're looking at an environment where there is a little bit of concern about inflation, but also we've got to remember there's the jobs story. And the February jobs report wasn't great. We lost 92,000 jobs. There were downward revisions as well. So you've got the jobs side, which would argue perhaps for rate cuts. The inflation side, perhaps argue for rate hikes. So, of course, Jerome Powell's going to go right through the middle and indicate nothing's happening for a little while yet.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure he's going to be peppered with questions on politics and the court case in front of the Supreme Court, the dismissal case of Lisa Cook. I expect him to be a very disciplined messenger, as he always is. Before I let you go, any other big catalysts on your radar you're paying attention to, you think investors might also pay a little bit more attention to here, James?
Well, we're looking at the investment side for the US. I mean, the really interesting story is about business capex to me. We've got business capex tied to tech, AI, that's growing 25% year on year. All other business capex has actually fallen for 5 quarters in a row. So my slight concern about the US growth story is the lack of breadth to it. We're so tech focused. I'd ideally like to see a little bit more broadness to that.
Yeah, that's a really good take. All right, James Knightley, Chief International Economist at ING. My man, thanks for being here to kick off the broadcast. Great to have you.
Thanks a lot.
We'll do it again soon. Okay. Josh will grab your mic. Howard, you and I will walk this way. We'll talk the latest analyst calls of the day. Excuse me, one and all. First up, RBC reiterating Micron, as outperformed, lifting the price target from 425 up to 525, citing continued pricing strength. Shares of Micron up on the day, up 51%, not a typo, already here in 2026. Next up, Wedbush reiterating Palantir as outperformed. They say the firm has a unique software approach that will be a growth catalyst, even with more support from the Pentagon and the federal government. Shares of Palantir up on the day, down, however, year to date 15%. Finally, Morgan Stanley set to reiterate Meta as overweight. They say the stock is latest in a series of big tech companies driving efficiency from generative AI-related tools. Shares of Meta up on the day, down 5% here in 2026. Let's take a look at a couple notables. We'll start things off with Carvana having a strong take today, up almost 2%. Needham analysts maintaining their $500 price target on the stock. The company also approving the first ever in its company's history 5-for-1 stock split, helping to boost shares on the day. Carvana shares up today, but down about 23% from the start of 2026. Howard, we'll take a look here at shares of Royal Caribbean Group, also enjoying a positive tape, up 3%. RCL has been moving inverse to oil prices since the start of the conflict in Iran, but moving up along with other cruise lines today. Shares of RCL up 2% on the year and up 34% over the last 52 weeks. All right, on Friday down here at the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange, I sat down for a one-on-one interview with Bobby Ong. He is the CEO of CoinGecko. We talked all about the now infamous October 10th liquidation event facing the cryptocurrency majors. We talked about the impact of central bank policy on the crypto majors and much more. Take a look. Joining us now for a one-on-one interview here at the balcony of the New York Stock Exchange, Bobby Ong, CEO and co-founder at CoinGecko. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here.
Good to have you.
You call CoinGecko the data backbone of the crypto industry. Talk to me about some of the ways, Bobby, you help crypto users make sense of the broader crypto market.
Yeah, CoinGecko is a crypto data aggregator. We've been around since 2014. We track price, market cap, trading volume for all kinds of tokens. We have over 35 million tokens on CoinGecko and Gecko Terminal. Yeah, that's what we do at CoinGecko.
I want to get your take on the October 10th, now pretty infamous liquidation event. I think that's a good way to describe it. $19 billion in leverage positions wiped out in just 24 hours. Looking back now that a few months have passed, how do you make sense of what happened back on October 10th? Was it expected? And do you think we have effectively flushed the leverage out of the system just yet?
Yeah, October 10 was a big event in the crypto industry. As you said, $19 billion was liquidated. A lot of liquidity was taken out of the market. If you look at the crypto market, since October 10, it hasn't really been very strong. It's been down only since then. A lot of leverage has definitely disappeared. A lot of people who actually anybody who traded with leverage on Binance, 1.5x leverage will wipe out. It was a very big event that affected everybody. Some large players probably got liquidated as well. We don't know who. A lot of rumors saying some players have been bankrupted, but hasn't really been no names has come out so far. So yeah, I think probably most of the leverage has wiped out. I think we're probably close to the end of this thing, and then hopefully that's the end, and we start seeing markets moving back up again.
Yeah, Bitcoin's been trading pretty sideways here now for several weeks, at least as you and I are here at the New York Stock Exchange recording this conversation. Bitcoin's trading right around 71,000. We're still looking at about a 42, 43% drawdown off of those highs from October. Been trading sideways. Has this been your expectation that we may continue to trade sideways for quite some time, Bobby?
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, we are kind of seeing like a 4-year Bitcoin cycle playing out, and depending on who you talk to, some people say like the peak was in January 2025 with the launch of the Trump and Millennium token, and it's been down since then, all the meme coins. But like Bitcoin really crashed since the October 10 incident, and usually this lasts for about a year and a half or so. So usually trade sideways. But yeah, I think it's just showing a lot of resilience given the circumstances going on, and actually given the Iranian war and so on, I think it's showing a lot of strength compared to traditional markets.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that. Oh, pardon me, as I throw my pen. Bitcoin's been outperforming stocks since the Iran conflict started. Do you get the sense we're at the bottom of the so-called crypto winter?
Yeah, it's hard to predict definitively, but I feel like we're closer to the end than start of the winter, closer towards the end of the bear cycle.
You do? What gives you confidence in that assessment?
I mean, a couple of things. I mean, we're looking at like interest rates probably going to come down at some point in the future. I mean, with the new Fed chair, but yeah, I mean, I think everyone's kind of quite bullish on crypto in general. We start seeing a lot of Clarity Act coming by. I mean, regulations are clearing up, very clear, and then institutions are coming in. So there's a lot of investments being built into crypto, and it's just very bullish long term for crypto.
How do you view the conversation of crypto correlation? I think for a long time, some people had said maybe it's loosely correlated to the NASDAQ Qs. Maybe there's correlation to the metals as a trade of some other more independent, high beta, high volatility asset, or at this point, is it really just kind of in its own lane?
Historically, it's been its own lane, but then in the last couple of years or so, it's kind of tracked the crypto, the traditional markets quite closely. But I mean, ever since the 10th of October, there's been a divergence. Stock market before the Iranian war has been doing quite well, quite strong before the AI apocalypse, and but then like crypto market hasn't been doing. It's a crypto market problem by itself with the 10-10 issue. But I think the issue from 10-10 has pretty much worked its way through, and I think we are done with that. And now it's going back up again.
Bobby Yang, CEO, co-founder at CoinGecko. I apologize for throwing my pen at you halfway through the interview. You're a total pro. Thank you for visiting us here at the New York Stock Exchange amidst your many travels. Great to have you.
Thank you. Good to see you here.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching Taking Stock on this Monday edition of the show, live from the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Azra Pravdic joins us now down here from the FinTech TV set. She is the head of enterprise strategy at Citizens. Thanks for being both at the New York Stock Exchange as well as for being on the show. It's nice to have you.
Thanks, JD. Thanks for having me.
Can you talk to me foremost about what brought you and your colleagues from Citizens down here, not just to visit us on the trading floor, but to get to ring the closing bell as well, Azra?
Indeed, it was thrilling. It's great to be here representing Citizens. So we're here for an event today called She Means Business. Together with NYSE, Citizens partnered to invite about 100 girls, high school girls, young women, who were here to learn about careers in finance and business today. They had a full day of programming, and it was very energizing to be with them today.
Talk to me a bit more about She Means Business. What is the spirit and really the subject of a lot of that programming for a lot of these students to get exposed to, maybe for a lot of them for the first time?
Indeed. I mean, it's really meant to inspire these young girls who maybe sometimes feel they don't belong in careers in finance and business to consider careers in finance and business, and we really want to empower the next generation of female leaders.
What are some lessons in your own career in finance and business that you wish you had learned sooner, or that you wish someone had been able or willing to teach you maybe at a bit of a younger age?
Well, it's certainly a personal issue. I mean, I'm a female executive in banking. I'm also a mom of two young girls, in fact. So it's something near and dear to my heart. And you know, one of the messages that we wanted to leave the young girls with today was really that they belong. And they belong in any room that they are willing to work their way into. So they must be willing, they must be passionate, and they must put in the hard work. And then with the hard work comes the belonging, comes the confidence, and then it really compounds. And then in no time, you're actually shaping the perspectives in the room, not just belonging there.
And all of our viewers saw, I mean, the incredible enthusiasm that these young students brought to the closing bell ceremony today. What's the sort of feedback, the excitement, and even a lot of the questions that they're asking you and other people that they hear from for a day like today when they visit? A lot of them here to the NYSE for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to see their energy, their confidence. Maybe they're even more confident than we anticipated, which, you know, gives us a lot of optimism about the future.
You oversee corporate strategy along with areas like customer experience as well as innovation. How do those things work together in terms of real effective long-term strategy for citizens?
So at Citizens, we're proud to have a distinctive strategy. We think of it as a three-legged stool. So we have our transformed and differentiated consumer bank. We have a commercial bank that we think of as best positioned among our super regional peers. And then we have a premier private bank, a franchise that we've been building over the last few years. And if you think about it, the core of that three-legged stool is really client and customer, and how we serve our customers and how we enable their experience. We serve both their business and their personal needs, and we're very proud of the breadth of our capabilities.
Yeah, you're a longtime veteran of the space. McKinsey, I believe, before joining Citizens. Talk to me about some of the ways really the industry writ large has evolved even over the course of just the years in your career.
Yeah, that's right. I joined about 10 months ago. It's an institution that really stands out. I mean, we IPO'd here about a decade ago, 12 years ago. So it's an institution, Citizens, that has existed for a long time, but really kind of got reborn about a decade ago. And we're really thinking about our next decade. It's an innovative institution. We launched Reimagine the Bank, which is a multi-year journey to think about how we incorporate new technologies, AI, agentic AI, into really transforming how we operate.
That's amazing. Azar Pravdic, Head of Enterprise Strategy at Citizens. Thank you for bringing so many incredible, enthusiastic future leaders of financial America down here to the big board, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, a lot more Taking Stock coming up from the NYSE after this. Let's do it. Time now for a few fintech, crypto, and artificial intelligence headlines for your Monday afternoon. First up at this hour, the crypto majors all up in a pretty big way. Bitcoin up 1.5%, currently holding around 74,000 or so. ETH up almost 7%, Solana up nearly 7.5% in Monday afternoon session. Next up, new data from CoinShares showing crypto investment funds pulled in about $1 billion last week alone, extending a 3-week streak of inflows led by U.S.-based products and strong demand for Bitcoin overall. And finally, at this hour, MasterCard set to launch a new crypto partner program with more than 85 digital asset companies. It's a big bet that stablecoins as well as blockchain technology will play a bigger role in cross-border payments and global money transfers. And now the New York Stock Exchange's very own Anna Mello brings you everything you need to know and a lot you probably didn't know you needed to know about the iconic sounding block right here at the big board. Take a look.
A distinctive sound can elicit strong memories that last for hours or even a lifetime. Those following finance with their ear to the ground will readily recognize the sound of a tolling bell and a gavel strike as representing the close of global capital markets, a soundscape unique to the New York Stock Exchange. The New York Stock Exchange has been striking a gavel at the close of trading since 1817, first to signify the end of trading one single security, and today signifying the end of the entire trading day. Countless gavels have struck this exact same sounding block since 1890, which is before women had the vote, before the first manned flight, and even before sliced bread. This sounding block has witnessed countless stories, and here are just a few. The sounding block began its career during the Second Industrial Revolution. Steam power fueled progress. Railroads and canals connected the country, and Edison's light bulb filled America with a warm electric glow. Originally, from its perch upon the bell podium, the sounding block oversaw a seething mass of humanity in swallowtail coats and stovepipe hats, belting out the cacophonous din of open outcry trading. As the steam age raced ahead, heavy industries like railroads raced to list their securities, brokers raced to meet demand, and the New York Stock Exchange's first permanent home raced towards obsolescence. To make way for both broker and technology, the New York Stock Exchange's first permanent home was demolished in 1901 in order to make room for its current home. As brokers shed their Victorian garb in favor of double-breasted sports coats and bowler hats, the New York Stock Exchange christened its new home on April 22nd of 1903. The sounding block was placed upon the freshly hewn marble of the bell podium, where it has remained ever since. A decade later, World War I sent global financial markets spiraling into a panic. All foreign markets had closed as of July 30th of 1914, and the New York Stock Exchange quickly followed suit, closing the next day and beginning our longest ever closure. When America entered World War II 23 years later, the sounding block witnessed an even greater seismic shift. With nearly 1,000 members of the trading floor community off fighting for democracy, trading floor jobs were filled by women for the first time, starting in 1943. Those soldiers lucky enough to return came back to an America well equipped for growth, as increasing consumer demand, surging product development, and ample disposable income generated an economic boom and a bull market that lasted for 8 years. 2 decades later, the sounding block had a box seat view to the upheaval of the 1960s. As men shed their wool suits in favor of synthetic fabrics, the New York Stock Exchange shed its status as an all-boys club. Active in the securities industry since 1954, Muriel Siebert was attracted by the egalitarian nature of the trading floor, where a broker's compensation was determined by ability and not by gender. On December 28th of 1967, Siebert was admitted as the first woman to own a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. 3 years later, another barrier fell when Joseph Searles II became the exchange's first black member. Even before joining the New York Stock Exchange on February 12th of 1970, Searles had enjoyed an impressive career, playing professional football for the New York Giants, as well as acting as an aide to New York City Mayor John Lindsay. At the dawn of the information age, stock trading had remained mostly unchanged since the sounding block began its career in the 1890s. Each auction was held verbally, and to an outside observer, the floor appeared completely unaltered between 1929 and 1979. But in 1979, the view changed dramatically, with the installation of over 15,000 pounds of computer equipment, all supported by a massive superstructure at the top of the trading floor. The personnel working beneath continued to change their look with the times, swapping out their patterned polyester suits as the CRTs around them changed to flat screens. Today, the New York Stock Exchange runs the last stock trading floor, utilizing a hybrid trading model unique among its peers, utilizing electronic trading technology in tandem with the human element. And with an active trading floor, the sounding block remains in use and is struck at the end of every trading day. Without a pen, a sheet of paper would remain blank. Without nails, a house would fall to the ground. And without a sounding block, the strike of a gavel would be inaudible. This humble object has been struck at every closing ceremony for over 100 years, loyally serving one single purpose: to shepherd the global capital markets, the New York Stock Exchange.
Welcome back. Time for a few headlines in the world of startups, raises, and rounds you need for your Monday afternoon. First up, Google set to complete the largest deal in company history, a $32 billion all-cash acquisition of cloud cybersecurity startup Wiz. Next up, Mind Robotics, a startup founded by Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe, raising $500 million with backing from Accel, as well as Andreessen Horowitz to build factory robots for manufacturing. And finally, the U.S. Army set to award defense tech startup Anduril a contract worth up to $20 billion over 10 years to provide software, hardware, and autonomous tech for modern military operations. And now Money 2020's very own Scarlett Sieber is back with a new edition of Jargon Translator, putting wonky fintech terminology into language anyone can understand. Take a look.
Welcome back. I'm Scarlett Sieber from Money 2020, and this is Jargon Translator, the segment where we unpack terms that sound simple but hide a whole power ranking inside them. Finance has hierarchy, polite on the surface, ruthless underneath. Welcome to the capital stack. The capital stack is a hierarchy of who gets paid first and who gets paid last when a company makes money or when things go sideways. Think of it like the VIP line at a club. Some people, they show up, they walk right in. Others, outside hoping for the best, probably waiting an hour or two in the snow. At the top are senior secured lenders, the undisputed VIPs. They get paid first and usually have collateral to back them up. Then comes the mezzanine lenders, a little more risk, a little more return. Below them, preferred equity. They get priority over equity, plus some special rights. And then at the very bottom, the common equity. The founders, employees, and shareholders who get what's left after everyone else gets their cut. Sometimes that's a whole lot, and sometimes it's not. The capital stack matters because it determines risk, return, control, and recovery if things go wrong. It's money hierarchy meets corporate survival guide. The capital stack, the ultimate reminder that in finance, where you stand determines what you get. And with that, that is your jargon translated. Have a term you want us to break down? Drop it in the comments below, and it just might make the cut. Back over to you.
Your final tale of the tape on this Monday, March 16th, St. Patrick's Day Eve. The S&P 500 will finish up a full percent. The Dow 30 up about 0.9. The New York Stock Exchange Composite Index up 0.9. And the small caps, the Russell 2000, up about 1% as well. Technology stocks, discretionary stocks, and real estate stocks. Those are your three strongest performing sectors in the S&P 500. Salesforce, NVIDIA, Boeing, your strongest Dow names. That's going to do it for today's edition of Taking Stock. Have a good night. We'll see you again tomorrow.